Hey everybody, it's Michael from Replica Airguns with another tabletop review for you guys. And today we're looking at the Sig Sauer ProForce MCX Virtus AEG Airsoft Rifle. I've done a preview video for this gun, so we're going to go into a little bit more detail than I did with that video. And I've also done a field test shooting video. So I do the tabletop first, but in this case, I've already done the shooting video. So if you want lots of information or more information on the actual performance of this gun, accuracy, feet per second, things like that, where I actually shoot it, so there won't be any shooting at all. This gun actually has a loaded magazine because right now I've got a lot of crows in the yard, and this gun works out really nice in full auto to deter the crows from hanging around the yard. I don't like it because they're killing all the other birds' eggs. They're attacking all the other birds in the yard. I live on a farm here, and I like to just get the crows out of here. Once you sort of scare them off, they generally don't come back. They just move on to other farms. So that's why it's loaded up. So I won't be taking it off safe for this video. If you want to see it shooting, again, watch that field test shooting video. I'll put a link in the description. And by the way, this gun is available in both our Canada and our US Replica Airgun stores over at replicaairguns.ca and replicaairguns.us. Again, links in the description if you're interested in this item. All right, so let's get right into the specifications, and then we'll talk pros, cons, and all that kind of stuff. I'll do a walk around as well. So this gun is distributed and licensed by Sig Sauer. It is a metal and polymer build with a full CNC machined metal receiver. Again, this is an AEG that shoots in both semi and full auto. It has an electronic single action only trigger. It shoots 6mm plastic airsoft BBs and has a 120 round mid-cap magazine. This gun has a claimed FPS of 420, and during my field test I was able to get about 410 using 0.20 gram airsoft BB, so pretty close. It also has a full-length Picatinny top rail with an M-LOK handguard system. This gun also has QD tactical sling mounts on the handguard, lower receiver, and the stock. It weighs 3 kilograms or around 7 pounds, has a total length of 737 millimeters or 29 inches. The barrel length is 295 millimeters, which is 11.6 inches, and it has a 3-position telescoping PDW style stock, which I'll show you when I do the walk around. And you may notice this is SIG's replica or styling of the AR-15 style platform. Now there's lots of really great mechanical internal parts, including the VFC Avalon gearbox featuring improved bearings, quick change spring system, built-in MOSFET, and powered by high torque neodynamic magnetic motors. So there's lots going on mechanically. This is a very high quality product, and this gun is also made in Taiwan. All right, I haven't really shown you around the box or the gun. Let's take a look at the box here. You do get the speed loader, and I'll show you that in a second, and the quick change tuning spring. So you get that included in the box along with the manual. Let's just quickly look over the box, okay? Lots of stuff here on the back. Sort of just a diagram of the gun here. Try and get the glare off of there. So 6mm M-LOK rail system, 120 round magazine capacity, 390 FPS approximately, which we actually got 410, fully automatic, adjustable hop up, M120 tuning spring installed. And so here you go, you got magazine capacity, 120, hop up, AEG, full auto, 0.20 gram pellets or BBs, probably what they recommend, 6mm and 390 FPS using those 0.20 gram airsoft BBs. Let's take a look at the speed loader. Okay, so just your basic speed loader. These are great. I mean, these are pretty generic. You just load them from the top if you can get in there. Yeah, there you go. So that's how you get that open. And then this should just come if you have fingernails, which I don't. This will swing over. You can load them up, right? And then just pump them in there. They're pretty much generic 6mm airsoft. These are very standard. You'll find you can hold about 90 to 100 airsoft BBs in a go, so you'll need to fill that up and maybe a little bit more to fill up the magazine. Here's the extra spring. It's the M100, so the M120 is installed. Then you get the M100 spring, so you can swap that out. And then of course you get the manual. Okay, nice manual, nice heavy manual, lots of stuff. So it talks about eye protection, right? You've got the product description here. Okay, how to use the safety selector switch, right? How to load, drop the mag, load the mag, how to use the rear stock. Okay, different explanation of parts. how to sight it, you know, basic stuff. You're gonna wanna look through it quickly if you've never looked through these manuals or ever used one before. Then you have different languages in there. So pretty generic stuff. All right, at this point, I'm gonna do a walk around. I'm not even gonna pull the magazine because if I do, all the bunch of BBs are gonna come out because it's kind of spring loaded, right? So you're gonna lose about 3 or 4 BBs every time you do that. They fly everywhere. But it is basically a metal magazine, probably a stamped lighter metal. It's not a very heavy magazine, but once you load it up with 120 BBs, you know, it's nice, and it gets a little bit more weight, obviously, depending on the BB weight too. You'll notice it doesn't have the little spring tensioner, right? The little gear on the bottom that you do for the high cap of mags, because this is a 120 round magazine, so you don't have to worry about that. That's kind of nice. So, you know, I like that. 120 rounds is plenty. Maybe some people want more. So basically, to get into the front here, if you want to get into where the battery is, you'll see here the battery is installed. You have to pull this pin out. This slides forward and you can get into the battery area. Now the battery, you're going to want to use like a nunchuck, sort of a, you know, lithium type battery, because there's the limitation of constraints of the size here. I do have it's like a 3 type nunchuck battery, and it was really tough to get in there. But I did manage, so if you have the thinner 3 one, you can probably get it in, but 2 would be easier for sure. You'll notice this gun does come with an orange tip, but you could swap that out. You've got your M-LOK guardrail, you've got the Picatinny, 1-piece Picatinny top rail, right? You've got your selector switch, not going to do anything with that. You've got your release here, right? So you've got your bolt release, and then you've got your magazine release on the other side. You can see here. I'm not going to shoot it, but this is not opening for me because I would need to like basically go through shooting it first. But it should normally open, and then you can get it your hop up. It will lock back. You've got this mock forward suppressor or mock forward assist here. You do have, this is double-sided, right? And then you have this 3-position stock, right? Really quite nice. A nice stock for sure. Nice pistol grips. So plastic, metal receiver, metal, you know, forward handguard, metal magazine, pretty much all metal gun. Now it doesn't come with the sights. It doesn't come with any sights, unfortunately. Let's take a look, get in here nice and tight. It doesn't come with any sights. You're gonna notice the Sig branding, right? The Virtus branding, everything throughout. So this I put on. I do like putting the riser on there just to get up a little higher. Fits my cheek better. Let's go on the other side here. Take a look, right? So you've got ambidextrous controls. You do have a sling mounts here. Okay, sling mount you can use there. Different places you can have your sling mounts. Okay. And again, you've got that going on there. Metal here. Really nice gun. I mean, it's a super high quality gun. It performed really well in the field test shooting video in both semi and full auto, and got consistent FPS as well, right above 400. So, you know, really practical gun for any type of shooting situation. All right, let's talk pros and cons real quick and then finish up this review. So the Sig Sauer ProForce MCX Virtus, it's a super high quality AEG rifle at the end of the day. The bolt locks back for easy hop-up adjustments. Couldn't really show you that just because the gun's loaded up and I couldn't really cycle it properly. And it's Sig Sauer designed and licensed. So what I mean by that is not only is it licensed via Sig, but they have a lot of input into the design and the build. Even though they don't build it in-house, they're essentially calling the shots with the manufacturing company on exactly how to build this gun and what they want to see from it. Now there's lots of metal parts, including the CNC machined metal receiver, rear stock guide rails, and most mechanical moving parts. You're going to find lots of mounting points with its full-length Picatinny top rail and M-LOK handguard system. Has awesome internals, including the VFC Avalon gearbox, the quick chain spring system, the built-in MOSFET, and the high torque neodynamic magnetic motors. So super great quality internals. And it's easy to mount a sling with its QD tactical sling mounts on the handguard, lower receiver, and the stock. And again, it performed well in the field test, hitting even above the claimed FPS, which is on the box 390, but on our website it's 420. So 410, pretty much bang on there. And I was able to get a 1.5-inch 10-shot group from 30 feet away. Of course, that's going to spread out a bit at, you know, further distances, but just in the hop up, getting a little backspin, it should keep it nice and tight. Using maybe slightly heavier BBs at longer ranges would work better too. Now, when I shot it in full auto, it performed really well. It didn't really open up too much at all because the gun stays pretty much put because it's an AEG. It doesn't move around too much even in full auto. All right, some of the cons. There's no included sight, so you will need to add your own iron or red dot or potentially an optical sight. The battery area is a bit tight, so you will need a fairly compact battery system. And it does come with that orange flash hider, but it can be swapped out if you want to make it black or change it up, maybe put some sort of suppressor on there, go to town, whatever you want. And lastly, it is a bit on the high end in terms of price point, but it is a very high quality AEG rifle. And if you're a SIG fan, then this is for sure going to be on your list of potential AEGs to purchase. All right, again, I want to remind you this is available in our Replica Airguns Canada and US online stores, or at least it's listed there. I can't confirm availability. That depends on how many are bought, how many are sold, right? So I can't control that in the future or even now. I think it might even be out in the US store at this time. Again, check out the field test shooting video if you want to see this gun perform and see its accuracy and FPS. All right, that wraps up this review of the Sig Sauer ProForce MCX Virtus AEG Airsoft Rifle. Don't forget to subscribe. Also check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Now, if you're interested in other products, air guns, BB guns, airsoft guns, pellet guns, blank guns, and other accessories, you can check out both our Canada and US online Replica Airgun stores over at replicaairguns.ca for Canada and replicaairguns.us for the US. All right, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.